kind of why is this story so important to be told?
It's so universal. It connects to everyone. I think it will connect people to one another. It sort of shatters the stigma around addiction. I think it will allow addicts and also the loved ones of addicts to feel seen and understood, because it shows every sort of aspect to that experience. The lows, of course, but the great healing that can come out of it if you just keep kind of plowing through and finding your strength to stay together.
Did you, let me change the answer.
Share my friend.
Any prep to, you know, not make this a caricature of an alcoholic? Any kind of special preparation that you needed to do at all?
Yes, absolutely. That was my main concern, is that I would fall into the traps that I think we do a lot when it comes to drunk acting, where it does kind of become caricaturish and sort of messy, slurred speech, when actually most people who, you know, are addicted to alcohol need it in order to function. So they become incredibly used to the effect that the substance can have on them. So I made a decision early on to make sure that each drunken scene that we have has its own kind of personality and its own role to play in the greater picture of things. And I worked with Wayne McGregor, who's a movement coach, and we started to sort of document where Rona was at different points in the story and physically how we could tell the story. And that was incredibly helpful, because it just meant then when we would do these improvised scenes where she's sort of at her lowest and she's completely out of it, I would have, you know, certain sort of physical elements and tools that I could hold on to, which was really helpful.
Which makes perfect sense, because you could be in so many different situations as you're drinking, right?
Exactly. And in different sort of parts of you will come out each time, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, even in the opening scene where she's kind of at her worst and she's lost everything and everyone, of course we don't know that yet, I actually wanted to have moments in that scene that were quite funny almost. I sort of played it as if it was comedic, and that is the tragedy of it, is that she's sort of in a completely different world to everyone else around her. So yeah, it was just about sort of being conscious about what the story was going into each scene and how we could tell it effectively.
I think also being younger, it's easier to get away with the comedic kind of take on it too, right? Because you're not a seriously old alcoholic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, another reference that I used, the only reference really in terms of someone's performance was Stephen Graham in The Virtues, and it is like, it's awful to watch him spiral, but there are moments where you're like, oh, this guy's fun, you know, and he's funny, or he'll make a joke, or he'll sing a song, and like, you see the allure of the person before they go too far. You can see what it is that they're drawn to when they take up a drink, and why they want to bring this element out in their personality.
Right. So you put on a producer cap for this one, and how was that working with your husband? Is it better two heads or one kind of a thing?
Yes, always better to have your gang around you, especially people that you're so close to personally. And you know, we also met in a professional space, so we've technically sort of been working together for a really long time, and we have very similar taste. And I think, you know, to have another actor on set who wasn't actually part of the cast to just be my eyes and ears was like invaluable. So yeah, we were really lucky that we had one another.
Because there are more and more actors are producing, and you know, they have their different reasons. You know, I've heard, well, I have more control over my character, or the set runs smoother when I'm. So it's an interesting kind of look at it.
Yeah, I think it's all of those things really. It's the fact that you can shape something that you are going to invest so much time and energy into. And I think that the older you get, you know, the more it takes for you, if you are in a fortunate position as an actor, the more it takes for you to leave home and leave your family and leave your kids or your loved ones, you know. So if you can at least have a hand in making this into a role that you can be great in and you can do your best work, then why wouldn't you? And I really do believe now, after making the Outrun, that more creatives need to not just produce, but I really think more actors need to be directing, because they have a connection to that way of work, and that nobody else does. No one else has the same insight as an actor does. So
Well, it's really interesting to think that it's you have more energy when you're the boss, kind of a thing, than when you're just come on to set right now. You know what I mean?
Well, it's almost like, you know, when parents say that when they have kids, they actually use their time in a much smarter way, and you know, you have to kind of get that energy from somewhere, because you just have to keep going, and you've always got this one job on the go. So I think there was something about knowing that, as you say, you couldn't just go back to your trailer and chill out for a bit, but there was always something else to think about. That gave me the healthy separation from sometimes the really, you know, quite dark, depressing scenes that I would be a part of on set, and you could think about something more practical and just, you know, I've seen so many crew members over the years being taken advantage of, and other actors as well just not being taken care of, and to be able to have an eye on that and make sure that doesn't happen on your set is so gratifying. So.
And then Scotland, how much fun? I mean, kind of different, right? I mean,
well, not for me. I mean, I spend a lot of time there, and Jack is from there, so we, you know, that's our second home. That's where he's from. He had been to the Orkney Islands a few years before. I hadn't been before we shot the film. But it's a very new place for, I think, a lot of the viewers who are coming to see the movie.
Right. I think it could be good. Anything you want to tell me? Anything else? I mean,
No, I'm okay.
I am
good.
too. Thank
Great.
you so
Thanks.
much.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Being written about in this way, in such a unique way, just felt very fresh to me. Felt like if we could pull it off as an adaptation, it could be really special.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was your first producing credit, right? So how was that experience? And you know,
Did an addiction story, and it was so much more than that. The fact that it's set in Scotland, it follows a young woman. It's a place I'm very passionate about and love very much. And it's a subject that's very personal to me. So yeah, to see it. Hi, right here. Oh, it's all blue.
All blue just for you.
Great.
Do us a huge favor and slide over that way just a little bit. And then I'll do one here to start us off. Sorry, just do you mind to, sorry, I want to get the whole outline. Thank you. All right. Hold on. Just a little smile on the left.
This is what she told me to do. Before you ask.